My name is Haley Thonen. I've been modeling for 8 years now. We're in Sacramento, California. We're actually hijacking my boyfriend's home, bless his heart. I really started off doing like commercial work, but I think I really started to find my passion in the kind of gritty retro style of work like you see like fetish models do, or you know, like Helmut Newton style work, and that's really what I ended up starting to gravitate towards, and I ended up completely abandoning my commercial career because of it. I think it's just more real and more natural to be kind of messy and ugly and gross than to just be so pretty and everything looks so wonderful, because that's just not how real life is. And I think there's so much more to look at photos from, you know, people like in the 70s and 80s, like out at like shows or at the bar, they're like out in like dark alleyways. I think that they're far more interesting to look at than just a beautiful girl in a beautiful dress. Yeah, that like harsh exposure, and just there's so much going on in the image. That's what I like. You're forced to kind of look at the image for a lot longer than I think a lot of the work that's just put out nowadays. You know, that's why I started to get so much into film, because you kind of capture that feel and that aesthetic a lot better than you do in like a really expensive digital camera. That's why I dug through my dad's closet. I pulled out his old 35mm Pentax and totally ruined my first couple rolls of film because I had no idea what I was doing. It looked terrible. But I started to kind of self-teach and nitpick and pick the minds of people that I was working with, and I started to create my own kind of work when I was behind the camera, which kind of gave me a new love for being in front of the camera, because now you can kind of work better, and it helped me kind of develop my style and the things that I really look for in photography and in modeling, and allowed me to kind of feel the way that some of my favorite photographers who are no longer with us actually had to work, and it gives you a new appreciation for that era of photography and art.
Do you travel to New York or LA?
I do. I go to LA and New York a couple times a year. I usually go to New York around like the fashion weeks, and then LA, I go down there for the music scene mainly, so that's probably where you can find me, but I do travel there for work very often. I have a Polaroid camera. I am terrible at using it because I feel like every picture is so like precious. There's a lot of pressure to get each picture correct, but it's so hard to get each picture right. So I think there's that pressure added to it, but I do like to take kind of pictures that are like in the moment and do have like that distressed imperfect, but it's hard to get it perfectly imperfect. So what I love about Polaroids is that they just have a quality to the photo, and they have a certain coloring and a certain exposure that you can get that if you try to fake it with, you know, Photoshop or digital, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't have the same kind of magic to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of filters that say they do Polaroids, and
everybody has an app that says Polaroid, and it's terrible, in my opinion anyways. I think it's terrible, but nothing's ever as good as the authentic realness, is it? Future of my career is that I'm just so bored, and I don't want to be bored anymore. I want to do work that actually inspires me. I want to do raunchy and like dirty, and like again, I just really like that 70s, 80s rock and roll style photography. So I just want to do stuff that's more fetish, stuff that's more edgy and actually fits who I am as a person, rather than, you know, just something so light and girly and fluffy, and just something that's not actually really, really me. Different styles, different culture, and I think mostly different eras are really what interests me.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, Haley. Anything you want to say? You want to say your Instagram, right?
Yes, my name is Haley Thonen again. You can find me on Instagram at Haley Thonen, HALEYTHONEN, and that's the best way to find me. Hi.